What's up, y'all? Today in The Sims 4, I want to show you how I got into my obsession of building Pokemon as shells in the game. For those of you who don't know this sweet little soul over here, this is Abra. He's a psychic type Pokemon that sleeps 18 hours a day. That doesn't change the fact that he is very powerful even while asleep. Abra was the one I used to test whether or not it would be possible for me to build these Pokemon in The Sims 4. Now that you've seen what the sweet soul actually looks like in the series, I have a very pixelated version to show you. Now I'm doing today in a sort of speed build format because I want to get through this quickly and I'm just testing it out to see if this is going to be the way that works for me. One thing about me while I'm building these shells is I don't have the best speaking ability. Not that I really have the best speaking ability, period. And since I was so rude before, my name is Victoria. Thank you for joining me today. A little about me, I love Pokemon. I love other nerdy things, but my current obsession has been Pokemon. I've been alternating between The Sims and playing emulators of past Pokemon games on my computer. It's just rekindled that obsession from when I was 8 years old and first got into this. I do have other fandoms and nerdy things that I would love to share with all of you, but right now, Pokemon does have a chokehold on me. For those of you that haven't picked it up yet, I am Texan, and what I know you definitely didn't pick up is that I am Hispanic. I am a pale Mexican vampire, that's how I like to describe myself. All the women in my family are very pale, and all the men are very dark. I think there's only one or two that break that. I love heavier music, I like the dark and spooky, and I'm actually weak for musicals, be they dark or otherwise. Okay, we're almost getting to the good part here. I have severe ADHD, and this for me is happy brain juice. Just the deletion of the walls. Happy brain juice. It's wonderful. It just makes the happy butterflies in my brain. They may have skulls on their wings, but they are happy little butterflies. Then I had to go through the process of trying to find the correct colors. I find that the hardest part of building these Pokemon in The Sims 4 is trying to find the correct swatches without using CC. I have put that limitation on myself that I'm not going to use CC, at least for the time being. That's been okay, and for the most part I have been able to find the correct colors and make them look decent. The only one that I am not sure if I'm going to share with all of you, unless you really want to see my horrible mistakes or you know what comes of not being able to use CC, is Gengar, who is one of my absolute favorites, so the fact that he looks like he's wearing a black diaper hurts me in my soul. So the problem with The Sims 4 is that even though I have almost every single packing kit, I think I'm only missing a few cast kits, perfect patio, and fitness stuff. So I have pretty much everything they've put out. I am limited to 2 or 3 solid purple color floor swatches. So unless I want to have the vampire design on Gengar's forehead, I have to figure something out. I have built the Ghastly shell, which to date has been pretty much my largest. Ghastly also has smaller pieces around. The other one that tops for largest has been Ninetales, another absolute favorite. One thing I want to do with these shells is to turn them into functional lots, because right now they are on the gallery. They are empty shells, as you saw, with no interior walls. They have black paint on the outside, they have the floor tiles on the ceiling, and I did move him up because I had every intention of putting more Pokemon shells on this lot. Now, before I start doing the interior and showing you how I built Abra into this little house, I did put 3 other shells on that lot with him, and I went back and forth whether I was going to share them with you today, but I wanted to not have this video be an hour long. I decided that each one or 1 or 2 deserved to have more time spent on them rather than being rushed through. And if a speed build is therapeutic to you, or just like, you get the happy brain juice too, I didn't want to deprive anyone of that. If you would prefer a different format, let me know. But as far as the Pokemon shells so far, they are all going to be speed builds for the actual shell, because I have so many pre-recorded. Now, if you want me to just speed build the shell and then do the interiors speaking to all of you, I can do that too. I don't know. All I knew going into building Abra was that I wanted the bedroom to be the largest area if possible. I knew I wanted to have occult elements because he is a psychic type Pokemon. I was also trying to see if it would show what packs I had used for him, and it didn't. Thanks, gallery. At the time, it was the day before the horse ranch came out, and that is probably why I wasn't able to see things. And it was the day we got the update where we could paint the ceilings. So my better build buy was obsolete, and I went from being able to hide all my CC to being so tempted to use it. Anyways, back to the sim. I started developing the idea that it was an elderly occult sim. Maybe someone who loved the occult or someone who had psychic abilities. So all these other rooms, like the kitchen and the living room and the guest bedroom, were not as important as the open area that I put in front of the kitchen, which you'll see in just a minute. I was playing with wall heights, and then I was deciding if I was going to put trim on it, but the problem was that I had to put a gate around the top, and I didn't do it on all of the shells because I didn't know what people were going to use them for, if anybody was going to download it, and I didn't want to make it more complicated until it was just my own shell. And at the time I was having difficulties because I didn't realize that if I just put the gate around the little opening by his arm, then I wouldn't have to recolor the entire thing. I found that out later, after I did all of the black over. So as I went inside, I started trying to figure out, one, what I wanted to do with that opening, and two, how I was going to split this space up, because the bathroom and the bedrooms were easy, but did I want to do an open floor plan? So since most older homes, at least the older homes that I've grown up in and seen here in Texas, they are closed off. They can be open with archways, but there are walls that are dividing the rooms, so they are separated from one another. So you can have different wallpapers in them and different kinds of flooring and furniture. And I remember having that as a kid here in Texas. Now I don't. We are in a newer home now, so we are very open over here. But I wanted to try and do that here when I was trying to decide how to split up the space, because I pictured it being an older home, because Abra is a first gen. And then I thought that this is probably a house that this elder occult sim has lived in for so long. I'm just opening it up with spandrels. And then I had the thought of, because it's older, like I said, that they would have a younger sim move in, be it a live-in nurse or a grandchild or a niece or nephew, maybe someone who needs a place to stay or just needs to get out of their house, whatever the reason, they have a younger sim living with them. So that is why I have older things and then some more updated things, so that either the younger sim convinced the elder sim to buy them, or they were things that the younger sim brought with them. Because one thing I realized, especially when my great-grandparents were still here, was that they didn't want to get rid of things, whether they worked or not. We're still going through a storage full of things my great-grandfather refused to get rid of. So I liked the idea of keeping things that looked older, maybe even don't really work anymore. One thing is that building for older Sims was really, really fun. I don't do it often. Usually I'm building for younger Sims, so this was really enjoyable. A lot of times I'm building shells because my best friend just likes to do the interior, and she says that she's not great at doing the outside and the landscaping, so generally that's what I will be building. Or I like to build things that are from TV shows and movies, or I like to build for legacy challenges, whether I play the legacy challenge or not, because a lot of times I've already played the legacy challenge. I cannot deal with normal gameplay. I have been playing these games like this and Skyrim, and I have to add mods and different things, and need to try to find new ways to play because I have been playing these things since they came out. So like Not So Berry and the Disney Princess Legacy and Sour Legacy, I've already played them multiple times. So if I do bring them onto this channel, it's just going to probably be the casts and building, because I have a lot of fun doing casts and doing buildings. I also like doing build challenges. Another reason I'll probably never get rid of my CC is because there's so much stuff just for my fandoms that I like to use, be it wall art, clothing, hairstyles, where I can make the actual characters from the shows, movies, whatever, animes, or I can make Sims who are fans of those things, and it's really enjoyable to me. And sometimes I will try to find the same posters that I use as paintings on the gallery. I have seen them because it's the no CC CC trick. And honestly, I'm just talking to fill up the time because I was pulling out all of the paranormal and realm of magic things that I could think of to try and put this place together, because I wanted it to look cluttered and well loved and like the elder sim had lived here for a really long time. I went ahead and just skipped to where I had set up the tiny dining room, our small little sitting area. We even have a small eating area in the kitchen. But the main thing I wanted for this paranormal sim was the seance table. I wanted it to be the main focus of the house. I wanted it to be the main focus once you walk through the archway from the entrance. I wanted to showcase that her priority was her seance table. Now, I found this cat statue because I wanted to take it back to Abra. And it kind of reminded me a little bit from the way he sits. And since it was floating off the pedestal from vampire stuff, the cat is from Cats and Dogs, I wanted to put the Realm of Magic debug glowing orbs. So if you go into BB. Show live edit objects, once you have your cheat bar open, you don't even have to do the show hidden objects because that is for like collectibles and unlockables. Live edit is going to show you all the world building things that the Sims use that are not in the packs. So the orbs, I just kind of sized them down and put them in there and then put the eco lifestyle windows back over it, and then I was just playing with it to see how best to fit them in there. I was thinking the statue, it's meant to be Abra, and whether it is meant to be like a deity kind of thing, or if it's like the source of her power, her abilities, and that's why it's being showcased like that. I put the orb over the table, and I was like admiring my Pokemon rugs that I have in there, my CC that I really wanted to use. But the orb over the seance table, I ended up having to lower it because it was kind of peeking through Abra. When I went back out into, the outside view looking down at him, is this my best house? Absolutely not. This house was more about making the inside kind of feel like Abra. Abra being the psychic type Pokemon that sleeps for 18 hours a day, that teleports in his sleep. He will teleport into trees to eat berries in his sleep. He can fight in his sleep. Do not play a drinking game of how many times I say sleep in this. And like if he's woken up early, then he can't really use his abilities, so he has to have a long restful sleep. Alright, so my camera angle changed because my camera fell over. I wanted to put as many comfortable spots as I could put, because if, it's a sleepy Pokemon that's going to sleep 18 hours a day, then you want as many comfortable spots to sleep as possible. I wanted it to look like this elder sim will just sleep anywhere. With this weird bump out, I wanted to do something other than put a plant or a little side table, decoration. I was like, let's use the space. I gave them a little laundry room that I'm pretty sure was the younger Sim's fault. And I was like, let's put a hamper there and maybe some extra things like toiletries, detergent, towels, and then just open it with an archway. There are clipping towels, there's going to be floating towels, the cookbooks in the kitchen are going to clip through, and I thought that it didn't bother me that much, but after I did like a walkthrough, I decided to go back in and fix it. And then I didn't do another walkthrough, so I'm just going to show you the walkthrough before I fixed it. And then I did go back through and not only fix those things using one of the Dream Home Decorator little cubbyhole things, I decided to add a couple of other things that I thought touched on Abra. I cannot guarantee that this is functional. I didn't actually want to go in and make a sim or pull a sim out to see if it was functional or not, because I don't intend on using this house and it's not on the gallery. I only put the shell. If y'all want this weird psychic house that uses a bunch of packs, I will put it on the gallery as well. If you want any of these shells of these Pokemon, my gallery ID will be down in the description box with all my socials, and I will put a note there. But if you are trying to find me on the gallery, you're going to have to click the box that says Enable Custom Content. Nothing I have uploaded to the gallery has custom content in it. I do not upload builds where I used custom content. It's just that I have mods installed in my games, and I don't know which ones are making it say that. But if you are trying to find me, just hit that and you will see all my Pokemon builds. You will also see some shells there because, like I said, I build for my bestie. So when I went into the bedrooms like this, I wanted the main bedroom to have a lot of plush looking comfortable furniture, and I wanted to make sure the portal rug from Realm of Magic was under the bed. I ended up going with the Princess Cordelia because the other very, very comfortable bed was a little too gaudy in any swatch other than the white or the black. And that wasn't the vibe I was going for. I wanted it to look like a grandmother or elder was living here. The mirror. I do not like mirrors to face the bed. Like I said, am Hispanic. I grew up in a Mexican household, and I was raised very superstitious. My family is incredibly strict Roman Catholic, and there's a lot of spooky stuff I believe in that I get scared. Even though I love horror movies, I get scared. So I started to put the old TV in here, and then I decided against it. I decided that maybe the younger Sim convinced her to buy herself a better TV. I know that we managed to convince my great-grandparents to get a newer TV because they wanted to be able to watch their shows, and we couldn't get some of the premium stuff on the old box TVs. And I don't mean just like a box from the 90s and 2000s. I mean like a 70s or 80s box TV. The big broken TV from the basement kit under the smaller older TV from the basement kit, and it was so much like a setup that my great grandparents had that I just had to do it for this older Sim that honestly reminded me of them. And then I just put other things from the basement kit in here. Like I said, it felt like more of a storage room that had never really been used. I loved that this bump out was there because I was able to keep the mirror far away from the bed. There have been builds where I will put a mirror facing the bed, but I honestly hate doing it so much. I've switched bedrooms in this house a few times, and when I was in one of the other rooms, there was a mirror on top of my dresser that faced the foot of my bed, and I could see it from where I would lay my head. And so I don't know, I got really creeped out one night and got the EBGBs, so I went and I took my Joker onesie, because I have, a bunch of plush onesies of different, fandoms, and I covered the mirror with that, and then when I could still see little pieces of the mirror through it, I, threw a towel over it. I'm a big scaredy goth baby. We are getting to the fun stuff of the last clutter before I go and do the landscaping, which I try to keep that simple as well. When I was doing the clutter, I kept, cottage living, and I was trying to find things because I had used so much of the realm of magic and paranormal, there wasn't much left. So when I was going through the Journey to Batu stuff, I saw the, bug potion ointment things and the vases, the stolen ones, and was like, oh, those look mystical. So here is my very shaky attempt at a walkthrough before I went in, and you decided those things that I thought didn't bother me actually really bothered me. I left a line, like a wash line, a drying line, and a wash tub out back because I liked the idea of the elder Sim always wanting that to be the way things were done. And so when the younger Sim came in, they brought a washer and dryer. And so the mud room kind of became the laundry room. I also liked the idea of the lesser landscaping because I wanted it to be I also like the idea of having less landscaping because there being an older Sim that lived here alone most likely before, or is maybe widowed, or, a spinster, I know the feeling. There's not really much to be done there, so I wanted to keep it with just a little bit of wildflowers, the low line pale flower filler that everybody uses, a couple of window boxes, and some bushes that are unkempt. I also hid the trash can away. Now here is me going back through and trying to fix a couple things. I went through because this was bothering me. I liked the pergola. I liked the island living couches that look so cozy and comfortable. I can't say comfortable. And just a napping area outside. I just wanted to put a wiggly path here, and then I went through and was trying to, it felt empty in the front, so I added some plants there. I just wasn't sure what else I could do without messing with Abra up top. But not just Pokemon, wanting y'all's input. I would love to hear about your favorite fandoms. What shows do you love? What movies? What's your favorite scary movie? I've got to put that in there. I almost wore my Ghostface shirt today. But I thought that was a little too spooky, at least for my first time out with y'all. I don't want to scare y'all first. I say that and then I show my face. That's going to be it for my Abra build. If y'all want me to put this furnished, way too many packs, elderly psychic version on the gallery, let me know. I will put this furnished one out. If not, the shell is there for you to do what you want. Like I said, my socials are down below. If y'all end up using any of my Pokemon shells, I would love to see what y'all do with them. I'm not going to issue a challenge, but if you do use my shells and want to make it a Pokemon shell, build challenge, then don't touch my outer walls. But I really am curious what some of y'all will come up with how to use some of these, because I have ideas for some of the shells that I've already put out, some of the Pokemon I want to still make. I will be back with another Pokemon, or maybe with some Horse Ranch, because honestly, I'm a Texan, and even though I get the yeehaw in everyday life, the yeehaw in this game got a hold on me. I am weak for the horse expansion pack, and I have not even touched it yet. It's downloaded and I have not even touched it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today, and if y'all enjoyed this, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Bye y'all, y'all stay safe, and y'all come back now, you hear?